Okay, we're going to engage in a sort of dialectic reasoning discussion. pH, acidity, alkalinity, and wound healing. And I thought it was better to start off with this and then get into more detail as to types of wounds and skin conditions or body mapping, the whole integumentary system, and the dermatological side, because this is a thread that runs through multiple elements of this. So I introduced sodium bicarbonate in the previous segment, and with all the other products that I introduced also, with regards to what I've applied topically for the lip, let's call it cold sore. So when it comes to wound, one factor is pH, or wound healing as well, and I think that you can, these silly alarms, I think that you can extrapolate or interpolate and include internal wounds as well as external wounds, and different types of, say, wounds. So, like the internal pH environment and the external pH environment. I did just like a quick, because I've researched about this previously. I didn't collate everything together for this video because part of the reasons I kind of do this is because it helps me to cement or to build mental structures to represent the information. So there's nothing conclusive. It is, or nothing conclusive in and of itself per se. It's a sort of inductive approach, but there will be like summaries and where to go next, if you will. So this is not like black and white, this is the perfect cure for the wound. It's more to do with the process, and I think that to a certain extent, each has to find what works best for them, to a certain extent, and there are things that are more less detrimental to the body, I'll put it that way, more beneficial, but I don't really see it as more beneficial, just less detrimental. Okay, so I did a quick search and looked into wound research and or in relation to pH. I found on wound research, I thought this was interesting to start with in terms of like opposing arguments, because this one on woundresearch.com, there's an article titled Acidic Environment and Wound Healing, a Review, And in the abstract, it talks about how topical application of acids are purportedly more, well, in the article they found evidence for them for acid helping in wound healing, controlling infection, etc. So I'll just read the abstract really quickly because it's nice, it's short and sweet. I'm not going to go into the whole paper in this video, at least, but I will link to that if you are interested. I'll give you my view on that too if you're interested. So, topical application of acids such as citric acid, acetic acid, ascorbic acid, boric acid, and alginic acid to treat wounds, to control infection, and to promote healing has been reported in various earlier studies. Present review summarizes role of surface pH and acidic environment in the process of wound healing. Attempts to cover recent developments in wound healing with special reference to acidic environments and its physiological effects on the wound healing process. There's more to it than that, but I'm going to skip certain parts. There will be, if possible, I'll say in future, I will just include a screenshot or a video shot, so you can see what I'm seeing. So I'm just going to skip to the results in the abstract. A study showed that an acidic environment created by use of acid helps in wound healing by controlling wound infection, increasing antimicrobial activity, altering protease activity, releasing oxygen, reducing toxicity of bacterial end product, and enhancing epithelialization and angiogenesis. Conclusion. Current review of literature indicates acidic environment plays an important role in the promotion of wound healing. So there's that. Woundsresearch.com are promoting or have researched the role of acidic environment and see it as important in the promotion of wound healing. And then Chris Gesser, you guys have heard of Chris Gesser. Chris Gesser is he goes on and talks about oxygen, but it relates to pH, but he talks about hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And in this article, he's actually talking about cancer. But there's one part, he cites a paper on ozone therapy, and he states in local applications, as in the treatment of external wounds, its application in the form of transcutaneous O3 gas bath has established itself as being the most practical and useful method, for example, at low subatomic pressure in a closed system, guaranteeing no escape of O3 in the surrounding area, and so on and so forth. Ozone water use was particularly identical since it's optimally applied as a spray or compress. Diseases treated are infected wounds and circulatory disease, geriatric conditions, macular degeneration, and so on and so forth. I'm just going to leave it at that. So, if y'all have heard of ozone therapy or hyperbaric oxygen, you can go and read up more. It will be discussed, I suppose, in so O3 I'm just talking, let's say, higher in terms of pH. I remember reading a lot about this, actually. I just wanted to say, I can't remember what year it was, about 4 years ago maybe. And this extends past wound healing also. So in hyperbaric oxygen therapy chamber, air pressure is increased to 3 times higher than normal air pressure. So you breathe in 100% oxygen while under increased atmospheric pressure. I'm gonna try and get So, just going back to the Chris Kesser article, where he mentions, the connection being pH. Alkalinity and acidity. So alkalinity meaning more basic on the pH scale, and having higher pH. I could go into speculation here, and then I'll come back to other pH related information. In ozone, there is in a higher 100% concentration of oxygen, and the decrease in atmospheric pressure leads to higher pH. Higher alkalinity affects pH control. And last thing I just want to look at in regards to this is oxidation of biologic molecules by ozone, the effect of pH, and this is a PubMed.gov, NCBI paper article, and I'll link to this as well. In the abstract it reads, ozone, O3, is a powerfully oxidizing pollutant gas. Its toxic effects to animals appear to be worsened by co-exposure to acid-generating compounds such as oxides of nitrogen and sulfur. Ozone 16 ppm parts per billion. I think. Oxidizes absorbic acid and uric acid, two important antioxidants in lung lining fluids, at equal rates at pH 5 or pH 7.4. Loss of intrinsic fluorescence and formation of carbonyls in albumin exposed to O3 are similar at both pH values. However, albumin SH groups are lost much faster on exposure to O3 at pH 7.4 than at acidic pH values. Similar slower rate of minus SH group disappearance at acidic. I'll link to this and explain more.